In the last decades, many strange objects have been discovered in space by astronomers. In addition to the planets in our solar system, astronomers have catalogued several strange phenomena. From the study of comets to the detection of the density and calculation of solar winds, the solar system has been a very peculiar region to be observed. Several objects and spatial debris, such as asteroids, have been discovered several times on the final frontier. But scientists have already noticed the presence of a star-like visitor. This visitor seems strange, as it was not seen before in the history of space exploration. The discovery of this interstellar visitor is prepared to change our thoughts about the universe. Hence, why scientists are perplexed by this development and have proceeded to discover more about it. So what is this mysterious interstellar visitor and how did he find his way to our galaxy? Join us as we explore how scientists discovered the mysterious interstellar visitor. On October 14, 2017, a strange cosmic object passed through our planet without anyone noticing. About 5 days later, this object was accidentally discovered when it was traveling outside the solar system. It was sighted by Robert Warwick, a postdoctoral researcher at the Institute of Astronomy at the University of Hawaii. He discovered the interstellar object with the Pan-STARRS Rapid Response Research and Response Telescope during his night search for objects close to Earth for NASA. After visiting the moving object, Warwick checked the Pan-STARRS image file and found the moving object in the images of the previous night. Although it was not initially identified, Warwick gathered this information and sent the images to the center of smaller planets. When the interstellar object was sighted, it was seen that it had strange components. It had the shape of a chariot, its speed was unusual, its orbit was out of place and the object was also composed of strange properties. The movement of the object could not be understood using a comet orbit, or regular data from the asteroid of the solar system. To confirm this, he contacted Marco Maselli, a graduate of the Institute of Astronomy of Hawaii. Marco also had some images of the follow-up taken from the telescope of the European Space Agency on the Canary Islands in Tenerife. When the data were combined, everything made sense to conclude that it was a strange object and it was certainly from outside our solar system. A scientist from the Center of Near-Earth Object Studies of NASA in California, David Finocchia, made a comment about this discovery, is going extremely fast and in a trajectory such that we can say with confidence that this object is leaving the solar system and not coming back. He said, even the orbit of the object was irregular because it was as if an additional force was pushing behind it. The force of gravity was also a key player there. Called Oumuamua by its discoverers, it was the first interstellar object to enter our solar system. The team of the Earth's Near-Earth Object Studies Center observed the trajectory of Oumuamua and where it would probably go. His studies explained the circumstances that led the object to enter our solar system. The reports also showed that the object entered our solar system almost directly above the ecliptic. An ecliptic is a plane in space where planets and some asteroids orbit the Sun. Coming from this region, the object did not find any of the 8 largest planets during its journey to the Sun. On September 2, Oumuamua crossed over the ecliptic plane during the Mercury orbit, before approaching the Sun 7 days later. As it was pulled by the Earth's gravity, the object made a curve under our solar system. Oumuamua passed under the Earth's orbit for a distance of about 15 million miles before traveling back up. It passed over the planet's plane at a rate of 44 kilometers per second, making its way toward the Pegasus constellation. At this rate, Oumuamua was traveling 3 times faster than the Earth's orbit around the Sun. This speed left a small window for scientists to study the object, which was not the only problem. Oumuamua also seemed too small and dark to be detected, as it had already flown over our planet when it was discovered. Before Oumuamua was discovered, there were theories about objects like this in space. Thomas Zurbuchen, the Associate Administrator of the NASA Science Mission Director in Washington, confirmed such theories. He says there was speculation about interstellar objects like Oumuamua, and with the discovery of the object, all this almost confirmed its existence. As there was little to study Oumuamua, telescopes around the world were called into action to observe color, brightness, and orbit. Even the large-scale interferometer of the telescope of the European Southern Observatory was called to follow Oumuamua since the visualization from terrestrial telescopes was essential to obtain the best data. Images from the telescope of the European Southern Observatory were combined using 4 different filters with those of other large telescopes. From there, a team of astronomers discovered that Oumuamua varied in brightness by a factor of 10 while rotating in its axis every 7.3 hours. Led by Karen Meek, from the Hawaii Institute of Astronomy, they saw that no asteroid or comet in our solar system differs so widely in brightness. The same thing was recorded with the length and width of Oumuamua. Mike commented even more about its brightness, saying that the huge difference in brightness means that the object is very long. It has a complex shape and is 10 times longer than Largo. They discovered that it had a reddish color related to some objects in the external solar system. The results of the telescope also discovered that it was chemically inactive, without the slightest hint of dust around it. Speculations about the Oumuamua being a comet continued to grow among scientists. But as the telescope observations did not see a large Fulputa tail similar to a coma, such hypotheses were discarded. For those who wonder, large tails similar to comets are synonymous with comets when they are heated by the sun, and this was not the case with a murmur. After these observations have been made, scientific magazines and global headlines around the world had a question: what exactly is a murmur? Was it a solid hydrogen block? Maybe it was a new kind of interstellar object, or could be an artificial construction made by an advanced extraterrestrial civilization, as Avloeb, a professor of astronomy at Harvard University, had proposed. When these theories were circulating, Avloeb and his colleagues conducted a study on his suggestion. The study talked about the chances of Oumuamua being created by an advanced civilization. They explained that Oumuamua is a fine artificial solar trail that could increase its speed through the force of solar radiation. Avenue says that's why the object's behavior is similar to that of a comet, but it doesn't have the gravitational acceleration of the Sun. Although other scientists seem to disagree with Avenue on its theory, they claim that there is not enough evidence to support their study and that a solar trail in fall would not have the ability to accelerate. Avenue continued with its research and eventually published a work that explains 6 irregularities about Oumuamua, with reasons why it is different from the asteroids and comets we have recorded since the beginning of space exploration. Since the study was published, scientists have used the Spitzer Space Telescope to determine the amount of carbon dioxide that the standard comets exceed. In simpler words, how bright is a normal comet? These observations resulted in the result that Oumuamua shines 10 times more than the normal comet. With all these observations applied, there is still no data suitable to support or oppose the bird theory. But many astronomers do not believe that this is true. While the debates continue, new theories have emerged about the origin of Oumuamua. Among these theories is the theory of hydrogen ice. This theory proposes that Oumuamua is composed of a lot of frozen hydrogen. With such a charge of hydrogen, the heat of the sun transforms it from a solid state into gas, making Oumuamua fly through space at this speed. He also explains why there is no diffuse coma around him. Scientists say that this theory would make the coma very difficult to be noticed with telescopes because the atmosphere loosens its wavelengths. Another thing that makes this theory credible is the shape of the object. The refining process would make the Oumuamua lose an incredible amount of mass, making it elongated and in the shape of a chariot. The theory of hydrogen ice seems credible, but a factor makes it unlikely that it is real. This is due to a proposal that claims that the sublimation process would evaporate the ice faster, and this object has been flying in space for a long time to be composed by this material. There is another theory known as the nitrogenic ice theory. This explains the possibility that the Oumuamua is a piece of nitrogenic ice of medium size sailing through the final frontier. It also describes why the Oumuamua has no trail behind it. Nitrogen ice could have originated from Pluto, a planet that used to be part of our solar system, but which is now considered a dwarf planet. The defenders of this theory propose that a fragment of an exoplanet broke and fell into our solar system. They also explain that nitrogen ice can survive 5 million years in space and can show sunlight, which explains why the object is shining. Since the Oumuamua was sighted, researchers have doubled their beaters, waiting to find similar objects. An astronomer from Yale University, Greg Laughlin, also observes that billions of entities similar to the Oumuamua could be drifting through the Milky Way, and scientists around are looking forward to more sightings of interstellar visitors. It may not take long for more interstellar visitors like the Oumuamua to be found. The Large Synoptic Survey Telescope, or LSST in Chile, is scheduled to arrive at the beginning of the next decade. The telescope will make an extensive sweep of the night sky and could detect another Oumuamua. So astronomers should be ready to analyze more data. Let us know your idea in the comments section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. It will help us grow and serve you better.